I mean, I get it. This can be overwhelming. Honestly, if I didn't know any better, the only difference is shapes and graphics. And full disclosure, when I was younger, I did buy boards on graphics, but thankfully over the course of a 20+ year career with Burton Snowboards, I have come to learn better. So today I want to take you through the 5 steps that I use with friends and family members to help them find the right snowboard. And honestly, let's just pretend you're right here with me and we'll run through these steps. All right, let's go talk snowboards. So we're gonna start off step 1 with a very honest conversation. Because it's a very basic question, but realistically, we need to know exactly what your skill level is and what kind of terrain you like to ride. You know, we can't just say like, oh, I'm gonna ride like Mikkel Bang and I'm gonna get his board, but it's like, most people can't ride like Mikkel. Like, I'm sorry, that's just like an honest conversation here. So really we wanna know, what skill level are you? Do you ride slow to medium speed? Or are you riding medium to fast speed? Are you in the park? Are you riding rails? Are you all mountain? Do you ride, you know, big lines and fast charging? Like, these are all things that we need to know to break down where we fit within the tree of snowboards. Step 2 is where we actually start looking at snowboards. Now that we have a good idea of your skill level and what kind of terrain you want to ride, we can go in and start finding a board that's going to excel in that area. Now to do that, I start to look at snowboards with 3 categories. There's shape, there's profile, and there's flex. So I'm gonna start with flex because we just talked about that slow to medium speed and medium to fast speed. This is where I highly recommend somebody that goes slow to medium sticks to a softer, more playful board, because those are gonna be a lot more fun at a slower to medium speed than something that's stiff and aggressive. If you wanna ride medium to fast, then definitely get into a more stiff flex snowboard that's gonna be stable at higher speeds. Shape and profile kind of start blending together a bit here. I mean, I guess it depends how technical you wanna get, but the first general question that I wanna ask is twin or directional? You know, if you're answering twin, then that means you're probably gonna be in the park the whole time. Maybe riding rails, you're regular and switch. You're definitely not gonna go near any powder. Then yes, that twin board is like tried and true freestyle. But when we go over to directional, this is where things really start opening up. When we're in directional centered, it's kind of, you know, it still has a lot of switch capabilities. You can still ride, you're on mountain, you go into the park, no problem. You know, and then we get further into powder. This is where taper starts to become more of a thing, and setback stances. This is where it's gonna be more friendly to ride in deeper snow with your dominant stance and not going switch as much. And then we're gonna get into a very far free ridey kind of board. And that's where we have big time setback stances, big noses, lots of taper, and you're primarily just gonna be riding your regular stance. All right, step 3 is finding the right size of snowboard for you. Now, in the old days, it used to be a freestyle board goes to your chin, a powder board goes to your nose. I mean, I guess there's some truth in that, but nowadays, honestly, just look at the weight chart. Every snowboard is designed to have a certain weight range, and that basically tells you how easy it is to be able to control that board and what the right size is for you. It's pretty defined. You just put in your weight and then you'll find out kind of what's the best size for you, and you can play with that depending on the terrain. Here's a little pro tip. The better rider you are, the lower in the weight range you can be. It means that board was built for somebody heavier and might have more muscle than you. If you're lower but a better rider, you'll be able to control that. The other thing to consider is boot size. I mean, if you're a size 13, then you're gonna need a wide board to protect yourself from toe or heel hang. If you're something smaller and have a very small foot, that's great, you can be on basically any board. But take into account that the wider the board and smaller the feet, might feel a little slow and less responsive going onto your toes or onto your heel. It's gonna take more effort than somebody with a larger foot. If you wanna have a bigger board for larger, faster terrain, then that absolutely makes sense. But for most people riding around the mountain, it's really weight range and boot size. They're gonna play the key points in finding the right size board. Step 4 is graphics. I know, finally we get to talk about graphics. But at this point, I'm really hoping that we have it narrowed down to like 2 or 3 boards that are really gonna help you out on the mountain first. I mean, that is the most important thing here. Let's make sure we get boards that are gonna help you have fun on the mountain, help you get to the next level of snowboarding. And now that I think we're probably there, look at those 3 options. You look at those 2 options that you have and which graphic speaks to you, which one best represents your personality, which one are you gonna be excited to have underneath your feet, you know, when you're riding and there with your friends, when you see a photo of yourself, which one's gonna get you the most stoked? And that's kind of this next space. All right, step 5 is budget and where to buy. Not nearly as fun to talk about as graphics, but the reality is everyone has a different budget. The most expensive, newest tech, best board might not actually be the best board for you. So that's kind of why I wanted to run through these options so you could break down what would be the best board for you and then find something within your budget range. Where to buy your snowboard is another conversation too, because if you know what you're looking for, if you're just trying to get the new model of a snowboard you're already on, or if you know exactly what you want after watching this video, just go to burton.com. I mean, you'll be able to order it right then and there. But if you don't, if you have more questions, if you need to go and talk to somebody, go to a snowboard shop. And I say a snowboard shop, like a dedicated snowboard shop, because the people that work there love snowboarding. You know, that's why they work there. So they're gonna be happy to talk to you about that and answer all of those questions. The other really good option is looking up online at burton.com to find out where there's a demo nearby. You can go and ride, you know, like 2 of these boards that you just narrowed down and you want to go test it. You can go and ride there and then make a decision, be like, hey, I love this board. Okay, now I'm going to go to the site and buy it, or I'm going to go to the shop and buy it. So there's great resources out there. It just takes that extra little step to really be confident in what you're buying. Let's put these 5 steps to work now. I have some answers here about skill level and terrain that somebody wants to get into. I'm gonna do this as fast as I can so it's not too long of a video. Riding for 5 years, decent boarder, not a huge bag of tricks, but can ride anything. Speed, they wrote medium, so not slow, not fast. All mountain, but wants to get into more powder. So I already have some ideas. Will sometimes go into the park, but mostly jumping. So right away I go to Hometown Hero and Custom. Those are my 2 boards that I would say. We go into like shape and flex and profile. A Hometown Hero and Custom, they're directional camber snowboards. I'm leaning towards Hometown Hero because it has more taper, and I think that would help this person. If they want to get more into powder, taper is going to help them give a little bit more float. If they don't go into the park too much, they don't care about riding switch, like the Hometown Hero is set back a little bit more than the Custom. So I think that's where I would probably put them. Not to say the Custom isn't really good at what it does. It's a great all mountain board. It's really good in chop. So I think as just a general all mountain board, the Custom is still a great snowboard. Sizing, we'll go into this. They said 175 with 10.5 feet. So that is a mid-wide. I believe the fit is, or size would be 156 for Hometown Hero and 158 for Custom. Yeah, 156 for Hometown Hero. I actually think they might be able to push that to a 160 of the Hometown Hero, just because the Hometown Hero is pretty soft torsional flex. So you get a lot of control over this board. So even though they would be like right at the bottom or even just outside of the weight range for the 160, it sounds like they'd be able to control it, especially if they're going into powder. And that torsional flex would make it a little bit easier to control. The Custom was a 158. Yeah, I think that's perfect for them. And then honestly, step 4 and 5 is graphics and where to buy. I can't really help you there, so that's rider choice. That's kind of my quick breakdown. That is it for this video. Those are the 5 steps to help you choose the right snowboard for you. I hope it helped. I hope it gave you some confidence next time you're shopping for a board and answered any questions. But like I said, go talk to a snowboard shop or go do your research at burton.com and you're gonna find a lot more answers. Until next time, my name is Mark Sollors. I do have a YouTube channel as well doing product reviews and snowboard content, so feel free to check that out. And we'll see you next time. Enjoy.